for showing up here. I know some people were in traffic, and one of the presenters was in traffic. She made it here too. A couple of quick updates. We have several different things to go through. I'll give you a couple of updates, and then we would have the presentations the way you have it on the chart there. Let's see, 2 days ago, I sent a message to the lister and gave you updates on 2 issues. One of them, which is a simple issue, the NIH, she said salary cap, I couldn't remember that. NIH salary cap has increased. You saw that as of January 8 to 187. So that's good news part of it. The other part of the message has to do with the fact that we are in continued resolution now. And it was up to end of December, then it's extended now as they are working on the budget. So the continued resolution is through April 28th for the time being. And hopefully budget would be in place by then. If not, they would continue it again. The effect of it, the main effect of it on us has to do with how much the government would pay for the non-competing awards. In other words, if there's an award in place and we are, let's say, in year 3, the way it works is that, and it's in that message, that let's say for year 3, if the amount of award that was in the notes of award, 100,000, they are going to pay 90,000. So 90% of the award would be paid. And always in the past, that's the same process that NIH uses. They pay 90%, and when the budget is approved, typically they make the project whole. They pay the other 10%, but there is no guarantee. And especially this year with everything else going on, nobody knows what would happen with all of the cuts in budgets in different areas. So that's what you have to plan for. There is a possibility that the award will become 90% of what you see in the notes of award. And with the budget cut, again, I'm sure more than I do what's going on right now. So those are 2 quick updates. How about, while we are talking about quick updates, how about Cassie, if you come talk about the Expo, I appreciate it. This is Cassie, one of our newest members in the team. She's responsible for training. Go ahead.
Hi, so as Ahmad said, I'm Cassie Ovalero, and I just wanted to let you all know that we're having our Office of Research Expo on April 18th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the ARC again. So the theme this year, I think, is publications and inventions. They've got a bit of more of a focus on that this year, but we're going to have some good food and research exhibits, and we hope everyone will come out. You can find information on our website on the homepage.
Obviously, food is important. That's one.
Good food.
Good food. Okay, thank you, Cassie.
Yeah, come on.
So you will see some more announcements on that, but as we go along. Okay, so let's keep moving. Kate, we have a presenter from School of Medicine in a very important area. Kate is here. This presentation has to do with clinical trial registration, which has caused lots of questions, concerns, and so on and so forth all around the campus. And thank you very much for working on that, and thank you for coming here to share your information.
Sure, I braved the causeway. It was actually fine. Yeah. Okay. Do I need to speak in the microphone?
Yeah, because that's
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so my name is Kate Marasina, and I'm the director of the Clinical Trials Office at the School of Medicine. So our office supports investigators throughout the campus with clinical trials. And today I wanted to bring you awareness towards a new, rather enhanced set of regulations that's related to research which is deemed to be clinical trial. And you may say, well, this is totally unrelated to us. We don't do clinical trials. And I'm hoping to demonstrate to you that with a new set of regulations, at least expanded set of your research projects will fall on the definition of the clinical trials, and therefore will have consequences that reverberate through the system. It's very difficult for you as administrators to to track and monitor these projects. And I just wanted to bring awareness that this is happening. School of Medicine is putting a lot of effort in creating the infrastructure for compliance, because we have a lion's share of the projects that fall under that definition. But under the new set of regulations, if one researcher who is NIH funded is not compliant in the whole university, the whole university may lose NIH funding. So it's that bad. And so I'll go with you today over the set of regs, so at least you know what it is about. And I'm encouraging any of you and you investigators to reach out to me and my staff if they need a consultation or if they need help in figuring out what to do. The UC Davis IRB now has a review and a tag for those projects that deem to be clinical trials under the new set of regulations, so that helps a lot. It makes your investigators think about what they need to do in terms of being compliant with this set of regulations. So I'll just, can everybody see okay? All right, so clinicaltrials.gov website is a national database into which researchers upload their information about their clinical trials and then subsequently upload the results. So it has been created to improve the transparency of the clinical trials. There many times companies wouldn't publish the results if they were adverse results, and even NIH researchers wouldn't disclose the results of their studies. And the government at some point in time felt that this is really important to have a transparency for American public, especially for the studies that's subsidized by the taxpayer dollars. And so this database kind of was chugging along, and it was mostly enforced for industry. And then as of January 18, 2017, the new set of rules came in effect. So NIH adopted all the provisions of the previous law, which was FDA law, and expanded it. So I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. All right. So this is a definition of a clinical trial under the NIH. So it's vastly expanded over what FDA was requiring before. And that's why what I'm saying is a number of your studies that previously may not be considered a clinical trial now will be. So it's a research study in which one or more human subjects are prospectively assigned. So you prospectively seeking them out to one or more interventions to evaluate effect of those interventions on health-related outcomes. So if your researchers are studying behavioral intervention, it's also an intervention. If they're assigning people to look at the blinking lights, that's also an intervention. Okay, one can go as far as to say, if you're a study subject eating blueberries and you're looking for biomarkers of oxidation in blood, that's also an intervention. Okay, so many universities go as far as they just register everything that remotely smells like the interventional clinical research study, just to make sure that they blanket cover everything. So you need to start thinking about your research and your departments from that perspective. Are they doing something to human volunteers that may be counted as an intervention with anything? Eyeglasses, walking sticks, you just start thinking about it in that way, and then we can help and to figure out whether or not it really needs to be registered. And as I said, the IRB have been taking a very active role in assisting researchers, especially those that who are NIH funded, to figure it out. So there's helpful case studies. We have a consultant at the School of Medicine who is helping us out to figure it out. So there are resources, at least on our side of Causeway, that we're developing to assist our investigators. So just think about it from that perspective. Then the next really important category will be International Committee of Medical Journal. So this committee includes most of the prestigious journals around the world. So if your scientist wishes to publish their research, they have to register in this database. And so there are more and more cases when publications have been denied. And so, you know, all our scientists, they live and breathe by the publications. So if they cannot publish their research, then, you know, there's consequences for their findings, stuff like that. So definition of a clinical trials for the journal purposes is very similar. It has a slight variation, but the flavor is the same. It's a prospective assigning of human beings to test some kind of intervention that have effect on the health. Okay, so as you see here, they say it could be drugs, could be procedures, could be behavioral treatments, could be dietary interventions. So Department of Nutrition may be rather affected by it. Any kind of dietary supplement that you can buy in Walgreens, and you want to prospectively assign some human volunteers to try this dietary supplement, could be considered a clinical trial for these purposes. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, so the other two categories is unlikely to apply for researchers on campus. And that one, the third category is if your trial has a billing through UC Davis Health System. It's very, I think it's unlikely that any of your research uses the hospital resources. And then the last one is what was original. Is the drugs and devices. All right, so I encourage you to think about the first two categories: NIH-sponsored research and then publications. Both of them are prospective assigning of the human subject to one or more intervention for the purposes of figuring out the effect on the health outcome. So this website that we have created has a lot of training material, has a contact information for us, and we are here to dialogue and to work together to achieve the compliance which is necessary for all of us to keep our NIH funding intact. So that's kind of my spiel. You guys have any questions? Okay, I know it's a stunning information. But, so we have to resolve all the outstanding issues by April 17th, which is what? Kind of less than a month away. So we've been really scrambling on the School of Medicine side. We just had a consultant for 3 days helping out to resolve some of these issues. We have access, a number of people have access as administrators to clinicaltrials.gov, so we can pull out lists of researchers who are already there and who are non-compliant. It would be great if there was an effort on the campus side to monitor the research projects that belong to the combined, probably, all campus departments. And so we can work together to achieve overall compliance with the institution. So maybe there will be some thoughts about that later on. Okay, so that's all I have.
Thank you. Now, let me ask you a question. I know that the School of Medicine has been helping the researchers for quite some time to help them register and all that. Several years ago, the percent of the projects that were registered was really low, but I think it has come up. Do you have any numbers on those?
So we currently have over 400 projects registered in the clinicaltrials.gov. Some of them probably don't have to be there, but this widespread panic about that everything should be there causes people to over-register, which is okay. I think the stance from other universities across the country is to over-register as opposed to under-register. However, the minute you register, you also have to maintain it. You can't just build the house. You need to have upgrades and updates and periodic, check-ins. So so I'll show you can I go back to the website? So if we can expand and then go to the right. No, right here. Okay, so right here. So this is the burden that is involved in maintaining a record like this. So 8 hours for initial registration and then 2 hours for subsequent updates. If your study needs to have results uploaded, that's 40 hours of just the initial result upload, and then 10 hours for 2 subsequent updates. So it's not like, oh, I'm just going to waltz in and do all my updates and go have some coffee. So you do the update, people on the government end review it, they kick it back to you because your words were not correct, and they ask you to change it, and you change it, you send it back. And so it takes a while to actually achieve the clean released record that would be publicly available. I just wanted to make sure that you understand that this is not always really simple. Not every study needs the results reporting, and I'm not going to go into detail of that. Again, I encourage your investigators to come and talk to us if necessary. So we currently have 400 studies, over 400 studies. 140 of those is on the deficiency list. And out of those, we have currently 23, which is in the critical deficiency, which means that they don't have this results reporting portion of it. And we really furiously working through those, trying to get them to compliance by April 17.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions for Kate? Thank you very much again. I know you guys have been doing a lot of work in the background to make this happen and help researchers and so on and so forth. I have been tracking that in the meetings we have had. Thank you. Okay, next we have Kathy Diaz from, she's CAO in Department of Pathology. And she is a very distinguished member of SRA and the head of the chapter up here in Northern California. So, Kathy.
SRAI. No, get to it. SRAI, yeah.
Trying to get the website up and running. So you have updates regarding what's happening? And
I do. Actually, I have a lot of fun and exciting things to announce. First, I wanted to tell you a little bit, for those who don't know, what the Society of Research Administrators International is. It's a huge organization that incorporates people just like you and more. And this is really where your peer group is. For years and years and years, when I've been with the university for like 30 years, I was like, gosh, is there anyone else out there doing this kind of stuff? And voila, there's a whole bunch. And I've been with SRA for a very, very long time. And through the years, just kind of got more and more involved because a lot of my friends were people in SRA from different states, and it just kind of grows on you. Northern California has about 250 SRA members already, from the Bay Area, Genentech, it's other universities, Sac State, and industry as well. So you meet a lot of different people. We have never really had a Northern California chapter. So there's a unmet need. We have all these members, and a lot of members don't have an opportunity to travel to the national meetings. So they don't really get to see some of the benefits of being a member of a wonderful society like this. So I tried to resurrect because apparently, 20 years ago, there was an attempt to have a Northern California chapter. So I decided, okay, we have to have a Northern California chapter. So about 2 years ago, I tried and failed because I missed all the deadlines. But this time around, I'm in. And so I'm really, really happy to say that I'm the president of the Northern California chapter. And this will be our very, very first meeting. And to make it even more appealing, our Vice Chancellor, Cindy, is the president of the International Society of Research Administrators. So not only does UC Davis have the president of the big overriding society, but they also have the president of the Little Northern California chapter. So that's really cool. And we all benefit because our first chapter meeting is going to be right here in this building in June. And I'm going to have Cindy come up and talk about some of the things that she's going to be able to provide for you too, to help benefit our UCD and UCDMC research administrators, population. So it's the event is June 15th. It's going to be a 2-day event, but it's 2 related but different events. The first day is the Northern California SRA chapter meeting, which is here. And the second day is a CRA, which is Certified Research Administrators Review Session. And I have some information in the back that I put, and this is about how to study and for the CRA examination, and what the examination covers, the body of knowledge, and where to take the test. There's 2 dates a year, and it's a very broad topic, but it has benefited. If you pass the test and you get your certification in research administration, it really is and it's really advantageous for you as you build your career in this field, because if you look at job postings in our area, outside of our area, there's a lot of job postings on here. A lot of them say CRA required or ability to obtain your CRA certification within 6 months of the job. So it really is an important building block to your career. So here's the information on CRA, and this isn't how to train you for the test. In essence, it covers the body of knowledge of the test, and so you can go back and study, because it's going to take quite a while to get through all of those categories. But at least you'll have contacts. You can always contact me or people here in Office of Research. And but anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. And Cindy, if you wanted to talk a little bit more about SRA, and then my contact information is somewhere. You can send it out.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Before Cindy starts talking, I want to say that Cindy has been involved in SRA since she was in kindergarten. So she has been there for a long time. So we have seen her there for quite a number of years. Last year she was president-elect for the whole organization. It's a huge organization, as Kathy said. And this year and next year she is the president, and then next 2 years she has to continue working on that. Not that she wasn't working in all of these areas before became president, but it's a 5-year basically commitment for the highest level of the position. But thank you very much, and thank you for being here and helping us too.
So SRA worldwide has about 5,600 members right now in multiple countries. So it is an international organization. There are various units. So we have sections, and those of you who know about the Western section meeting, it'll be in Hawaii in 2 weeks. So you missed the early bird on that. I'm so sorry. We also next fall will have a meeting in Vancouver, BC, and it will be our 50th anniversary. So SRA has been around for 50 years. But what I really wanted to talk about is the money, because I know a lot of departments might not necessarily have professional development funds to send all of you to these kinds of activities. And I really wanted, so the presentations are going to be, you have different panels. So the first day is going to be a panel kind of based education mechanism with speakers in research compliance and administration. And so I think Kathy's put together a tremendous program for that day. And the cost is $135 for attendance, but it also, to become a member, it's $100. And so it's the total cost of that first day is like $235. The second day is the Research Administration Accreditation Council is putting that part on for the CRA review. And that day is $225 for that full day review for the CRA exam. So what I wanted to do is try to help all of you so that you can participate if money is a problem for you or your department. And so I've set aside one-time funds to pay for the $135 attendance at the first day, up to the first 100 registrants. From UC Davis. I'm not paying for Berkeley. I'm not going to do that. These are only for UC Davis department employees. So, but your department would have to kick in and actually purchase the membership in support of you. So, if you want to participate in this, you would need to, after you register, email Kathy, and she will keep a list of the first, numbers, and I will work with your assistant deans to reimburse your departments for the amount that, the number of people that sign up from your department for Office of Research. Same thing with day 2. I will provide day 2 for the CRA review up to the first 50, because it's a little more expensive, so to stay within budget. So day 1, the first 100, but your department kicking in your actual membership, and for day 2, the first 50 that register. So that's
regarding day 2. There is some. I mean, not everybody can sit for the exam. Is it like 3 years, 5 years, or something?
So on this little blue card, on this blue card in the back, it has the educational requirements or the eligibility requirements, and it says a bachelor's degree and 3 years of experience in research or sponsored programs administration, or an AA degree in 5 years, or no degree and 6 years by petition with a letter. So if anyone needs a petition, email me. I will write a letter for you. I used to serve on RAC also. I think you did too at one time, didn't you? No? Okay. Well, I was on RAC for, I think, 6 years. So
I'll create some of the test questions.
Yeah.
But they asked me to do that for them, but I never actually said it.
And so don't be, discouraged by option number 3, the no degree thing, because petitions are widely used. And the other document back there is the test dates. It's only 2 times a year. So the next one there's March and October, so spring and fall.
Mm-hmm. So if I hear it correctly, at the minimum you need 3 years. But is there a way around that too? I thought in the past there was a way around that too.
If you're that determined, like you said, we can petition.
Right.
I tried years ago to do that. I only had 2 years in, and they said no.
Really?
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So there is some reason. That's one of the reasons instead of
It's another
100.
reason why up to
It's 50,
because
yeah.
not everyone is at
Right.
that stage of their career
Mhm.
where they can apply to take the CRA exam. So I thought that
Right.
there may be fewer people on day 2 anyway than day 1. So.
Right.
Okay.
And a lot of times people with less than 3 years, they're not as aware of all the different components regarding research administration. They might be doing a more focused area, for example, pre-award only. They don't do post-award. They don't really get into animal use or human use, clinical trials, any of the biological safety issues. So they're not really seeing the big picture. They're just a little bit more focused. So you really need to have exposure to all the fascinating and broad areas of research administration.
Regarding this last issue that you were talking about several years ago, before James was before James was the head of the accounting, which I see that on this it says Contracts and Grants Administration. Have you changed your name? No, they haven't changed it. We have changed it for them. But anyway, before that, Kathy Haas was the head of that office. This goes back many years. But one of the jokes we had when we would talk about the CRA was that if Kathy and I would sit together and take the exam, then we would pass. So you have to know both sides really well. Go ahead.
Okay, so online, someone asked me to clarify what the department would have to kick in I'm paying for the actual educational session for folks. That's $135. But in order to attend, you need to be a member. And so that is, well, there's two different levels of membership. The first level is affiliate membership, and that's $100. So if you want affiliate membership, that's what your department would pay. Affiliate membership, you'll get like the Catalyst news. There's different benefits at that level. But what you don't have access to as an affiliate member is if you go to additional SRA meetings, they have these certifications in different areas of research administration. You have to be a full member in order to get a certification, in order to earn a certification. So as an affiliate, you can't get certifications. If that's your path, you might want to sign up for a full membership, and I believe it's 200. It's about
205.
205. So it really depends on you talking with your department and seeing what's best for you. If all you want to do is just attend this one educational session and get their newsletter thereafter, that's the $100 affiliate membership. But if you plan on going forward and doing more, then that would be the higher level. So really up to your department.
Okay, we have a question here asking for the email address of Kathy and her full name. Yesterday I sent through the list the information regarding the SRA. You probably have received it. So I'm going to piggyback on that and give you the information regarding how to contact Kathy and her address and so on.
Right.
So
My legal name is very, very long. So, but I still have my UC Davis, since I've been here a million years, I still have my original UC
so
Davis.
You have an illegal name?
Yeah. It's just CJ Diaz. CJ Diaz at ucdavis.edu. Yeah. So if you look for the big long name, you won't find it.
Okay. Anything else? Any questions regarding the CRA or SRA?
It will be a lot of fun, and those who attend the SRA chapter meeting, at the end we can talk about more opportunities within SRA, what you all would like to see as far as a next chapter conference, as far as topics and guest speakers and that type of thing. And it's a great opportunity for the Northern California chapter right now, because we have her as in charge of the entire organization, and there's a lot of enthusiasm already for the Northern California chapter. So I think we can really do a lot of cool things. So this is a great time to participate in a small local region, but yet get a feel of what's going on the outside. So it's a great opportunity. So I'm really excied.
Thank you, Kathy. And the meeting is going to be in this building, and we have two conference rooms here.
So right now it's planned on being in this meeting, but so this is going out to also the Bay Area, so all of the Northern California schools. And if we get too many attendees, we might have to change venues. but we're playing that by ear, because most chapters you'll have maybe 150 show up, on average, and so. So we'll just play that by ear, but right now it's planned for here.
Thank you.
Great. Any questions?
Good.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay, let's see. What do we have next? We have a couple of updates from here. Mike, do you have update on Cayuse and database? Anything related to that?
Hello, everybody. Looks like I've worn the appropriate uniform this morning.
There we go again.
Since Sherry Poulos isn't here this morning, I've been asked to say a little bit about Spark and more particularly about Cayuse. Generally speaking, there are a number of enhancements that are moving forward with Spark. Some of them you will hear about in the near future that I won't talk about this morning, but things like the Form 800 system and that. I'm not really involved with that. What I can tell you a little bit more about is the Cayuse SP, SP for Sponsored Programs implementation. It is proceeding. The current plan is that on July 1st, it will become the system of record for the university. And that may may shock a lot of people and say, I don't know anything about it. And we realize that there will not be an expectation on July 1st that everyone on the entire campus will be using it at that point, at that date. We are currently in user acceptance testing, where we have access to the system. We are using the system, putting proposals in, processing those proposals through the system, seeing how the system works, and then we will get some specialized training by the vendor on that system. And then we'll be developing our operating procedures. And that will put us in a position so we can roll it out to the campus on what it is, how we're going to use it, and how you will use it going forward. We expect that sometime in May, we will begin pilot testing. That pilot testing will begin probably with a single department, and then we'll build on that as we get comfortable with things. We've worked out whatever bugs we might find. We'll add additional departments as we go along. And if you are interested in being involved in the pilot test, we are currently seeking volunteer departments to be part of the pilot test. So if you have an interest in being part of the pilot test, my suggestion to you would be that you begin speaking with the higher level administrators in your department, up to and including the department chair. If you happen to be in the School of Medicine or the School of Veterinary Medicine and you want to be a pilot department, you've got to also involve your dean's office, since they sign off on all of your proposals currently and will in the future. And at some point in the not too distant future, probably within the next couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, Cindy will be meeting with the associate deans for research, and she will talk about this, and she will ask them, who do you have within your college that wants to be a pilot? And the people who have done the groundwork, those of you who have done the groundwork to talk to your department chairs and your dean's offices, will be most likely to be on that list when Cindy asks the question, and you might get selected to be a pilot department. So if you're interested in that, that's the process for how you become a pilot department. Once we have become operational, fully operational, and it becomes our system of record on July 1st, we will be moving probably college by college to bring everybody on campus onto the system, probably over the next 3 months or so, although the timeline isn't definitive at this point. Part of the unknown there is we still need to work through the pilot process to give us a better understanding of what are the issues involved with bringing a unit, a department, for instance, onto the system. Is it a pretty quick and straightforward and simple process, or does it take a lot of training and a lot of time to get everybody into the system? Thankfully, based on our current understanding of the system, and we have a campus user group composed of people from all across campus representing each of the colleges, it's a pretty intuitive system to pick up. We're very pleased with that. The first day that group had access to the system, we basically sat in this room and I said, here's how you get into the system. Go ahead and create a proposal. And pretty much invariably, everybody had their first proposal done within the first 20 minutes. There was no instruction about how to do it. I just told them where to find it. And so it's pretty intuitive to get things into the system. Now, of course, people had questions and there are things that work a little bit differently, but that's to be expected with a system like this. So it's going pretty well at this point. I'd say it's going real well at this point.
Mike, we have a question here. They are asking if the pilot would start before July 1st.
The pilots will probably start sometime in May. We don't have a precise date yet because we don't know yet when we will be ready to start the pilots. Like I said, we're still in user acceptance testing. We're scheduled to have the system ready for production by the end of April. Maybe a little sooner, maybe a little bit later, but that's the current plan. So the pilots will start sometime in May. Yeah.
Is there an expectation of volume that you're looking for in a pilot for those that sign up? Like how many proposals that you want to see come through?
We want to, the question was, is there an expectation of volume for the pilot? There are no precise numbers for the volume, but the expectation is that there will be enough volume to really test the system. But at the same time, we don't run a really big department that might overwhelm us right at the start with something fairly simple that we can fix and deal with going forward. So I'm not sure that answers your question, but we're looking for medium size. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, the other thing, on April 13th, I mentioned that the vendor is going to be doing some specialized training. Most of that training will be for SPO folks, but they will be offering some training on April 13th that will be targeted for campus users. There will be 2 sessions that day. There'll be a morning session, there'll be an afternoon session. Those 2 sessions will be identical. Under the current plan, I think they're scheduled for 4 hours each. So it's a chunk of time. If you're interested in attending one of those sessions, send an email to proposals@ucdavis.edu, and we will get invitations to as many of you as we can. I can't guarantee that we'll be able to get everybody in those sessions because they'll probably be in this room, and so there's a limit to the number of people who can be involved. It won't be your only opportunity to get trained. So if you don't make one of those sessions, it's not the end of the world, because we will be doing lots of training as we move through this process and get everybody on campus into the system over the next few months. Any other questions? Yeah.
That's a training to use the
Yes, that's training to use the Caillou system. How do you get a proposal entered? How do you process that proposal, getting the PI's approval for the proposal, department chair's approval for the proposal, and if necessary, the dean's approval for the proposal. And then the training will also involve how you can track that proposal through all of those steps. It then goes to sponsored programs, and you can follow along and see where that proposal is in the process all the way through. And the same will be true of awards when we get to that.
Is that training that's going to be here? Like the weekly?
Yes.
Or it's going to be like the lab?
The training will be here in a meeting in a lecture format. So there'll be screenshots up on the screen, and you'll be able to see it, but you won't be able to do hands-on. Any other questions? All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. I have a question here regarding a different issue, regarding the issue of SRA. And the question is to clarify what our office is committing to pay for. As Cindy said, for the SRA, the very first day, that the registration fee is $135. This office would pay $135 for the first 100 people for UC Davis only. And if you are not a member of SRA, there's additional fees. So that your department has to help you with. The question specifically is asking here, did Cindy say that this office would pay for educational session in the annual meeting in Vancouver? The answer is no. No, just it is the meeting which is for the time being is set for this building. It's not only that session, the SRA first day. And also Cindy said that for the second day, which is CRA, for Certified Research Administration, that there is a fee of $215 or something for that one day to get prepared for taking the exam for those who qualify to take the exam, and you heard the qualifications. The first 50 people would be paid from our office. So that's where we are. So no, it's not outside Davis. It's just Davis for Davis people. and the meeting in Davis. Nothing more than that. So, okay, that's what I have. Before going to any proposal or anything like that, deadlines, how about Grace? You have updates on the award side? Thank you.
So on behalf of awards, I have two announcements. The one is that the NSF Policy Office has come out with a new quarterly publication. So this is their first issue. It's the NSF Proposal and Award Policy Newsletter. And the first issue came out in February/March. I expect the next one to come out in May/June. In this policy newsletter, it has the changes to the policies that affect how you prepare and submit proposals and how you manage your NSF awards. So it's definitely worth taking a look at. It's only 5 pages long. It gives a quick synopsis of all the changes and clarifications. You can find these newsletters at the NSF Policy Office website. There are PDFs to them. Okay. And then the second announcement I have is, as you are probably aware, the revised research terms and conditions have issued. In the March 14th Federal Register, it was announced that these revised terms and conditions are issued. So for those of you who don't know, the research terms and conditions are what implement uniform guidance. So when they are soon to be incorporated into the federal sponsor awards, or they will be incorporated by reference. And the NSF has agreed to continue to serve as a sponsor of the updated research terms and conditions. So what that means is you can find these research terms and conditions on the NSF website. And if you Google NSF RTC, you'll find the link to it. So 3 agencies are going to implement these research terms and conditions starting April 3rd. 3 agencies are NSF, Department of Energy, and NIH. So if you have departments that are getting funding from NSF, Department of Energy, and NIH, that's a lot of funding right there. The new research terms and conditions will begin to be implemented into their awards starting April 3rd. And other agencies will soon follow. So you'll want to look at the NSF RTC website to see which agencies will soon follow with implementing these RTCs. Any questions?
That was fast. Thank you. James, do you want to talk about updates from whatever your new name is?
Whatever. So our name is still Contracts and Grants Accounting. There's no name change. Good morning. So one thing I want to do is introduce Lenore Bruce, who joined us a little while ago. It's the first opportunity to have her say hi, good morning. So when did you join us?
December.
A little bit. So Lenora is the supervisor of
Basically, she's there.
Team B, which covers.
Oh, I see.
So, base and name. Research terms and conditions. I'm so happy when this came out. We now have the new updated matrix that I always looked at in the past, and now there's a brand new matrix that's out there to show you for all the agencies, all the different things we have to look at. 90-degree award, all these weeds, all the W's, wait. Yeah. The prior one was dated to a decade ago, so it's just having a fresh date out there. We went ahead and threw a link to the research terms and conditions on the Contracts and Grants Accounting website. So if you go there, there's a little panel in the lower right that has uniform guidance, and you just popped it in there. So that'd be a quick way to get to it as well. Because I've started hitting that link quite a bit in the last few days since we stuck it up. Okay, those are my updates. If there are any questions, concerns, feedback, it's your time. We're here for you.
Okay, no, there is a question here saying that could we put the link for the research terms and conditions on the CGA website? And,
oh, excellent.
Okay, could you answer it? That said you did it? You just did it.
Yes, we can do that. Thank you.
And you have done
We
it.
have done it. Complete. Check. NCA. Satisfied.
Thank you. Research compliance, Jessica. Thank you, Jessica, for being here.
Good morning. I'm here from Research Compliance and Integrity, and I want to give a quick update on something that's already been mentioned, and that is the rollout of the online Form 700U, Form 800, and supplemental form. So as everybody knows, that conflict of interest disclosures for PHS-funded research have been collected online for quite some time. You guys, we recently moved to a new site over Christmas, but the disclosure process is much the same. The investigators are on. They list all of their significance.
Excuse me, I'm hearing that the mic might be off.
Yeah, I
No?
wasn't sure where the mic was.
Well, here it is. Okay, now maybe you want to repeat.
No problem. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me now? Great. Hi, guys. This has a very karaoke feel to it. So before we do Smoke on the Water, we will do, so yeah, just to recap, never give me a microphone. So just to recap, investigators have been filing their PHS conflict of interest disclosures online for quite some time, and now we are going to extend that online ability to the privately funded research and the non-PHS government-funded research. We currently will be having those links located on the same site as the PHS online disclosure. That will eventually be migrating into the Spark portal when that's available. So what RCI has been doing is for the last several weeks, we've been meeting with different administrative units, both here on campus and at the Med Center, because we want to help anyone who touches the 700U in either an administrative capacity or in a researcher capacity really understand what this online system is going to mean and how they can incorporate it into their business processes. So we've been talking to the IRB. I think we're going to go talk to sponsored programs maybe next week. And so if we haven't come to speak to you and you have concerns about what an online disclosure system would mean for you, please contact us at, I think we're OR_COI at 83.ucdavis.edu. Also, I'm Jessica Trask. You can call me, you can email me, and we'll make sure that we can assuage some of your concerns that you might have. So what we're doing now is identifying some of the not administrative users, but the investigators. We're looking at large departments, what we consider sort of the power user, groups that submit a lot of disclosures. And we are meeting with them, giving them an introduction to the system, showing them how the disclosures will work, but also sort of working out kinks, looking for how much stress the system can take, looking for ways that we can modify our training materials. And so this week, next week, week after that, we'll be going to actually walk investigators through the system, get their feedback, and change our materials so that we can really present this in a very intuitive, positive way. So everybody probably wants to know about timelines. So we are going to start announcing that we're going to start sort of piloting and having some disclosures trickle in. I think the site will become unlocked somewhere at the end of this week, early next week, where we can have people submitting actual disclosures into the system. But things won't be broadly announced to campus until April 10th. That's when we're going to start putting out listservs. We're going to modify our website, change all our links. And then April 17th, which seems to be a popular date for things like this, will be considered our official rollout, where we will be asking people to switch from sending in paper disclosures to the online disclosures. As you know, sometimes these disclosures take a while to trickle through the system, so we aren't going to be rejecting anything on paper that we got that maybe went into an administrative office prior to the deadline. But after April 17th, we ask for everyone to submit their disclosures online. As part of this, RCI has created an extensive set of educational materials. We have an administrator's guide, so for people who will need to look in the system as an administrator and track submitted disclosures. We have a educational guide for you. We have a lengthy investigator guide. I think it's up to like 31 pages now that covers every possible situation that an investigator could find themselves in. We're also trying to, and that's probably targeted towards a support staff or administrative staff that are going to be assisting investigators with submissions. We are also going to be putting together a series of sort of cheat sheet, one-page, quick, I'm an investigator, I have 20 minutes to get my disclosure in, what do I need to do right now? So we're really trying to cover a variety of situations because we know that the Form 700U, which is, of course, for privately funded research, the Form 800, which is for non-PHS government-funded research and human subjects research, and the supplemental form, which has to be filled out by any investigator with a positive, significant financial interest, has to cover a variety of circumstances, that people use the information on these forms for a lot of different things. So we're trying to make sure that everyone's needs are met as we roll out this fairly broad system with a lot of moving parts. So let me see. Once we start distributing our listservs, once we start updating our emails, all of the links will be in there. That'll start April 10th. If you are an administrative unit, either that processes the 700U forms, or if you assist investigators with their conflict of interest disclosures, and you would like someone from our group to come out and help you, please contact me. Like I said, I'm Jessica Trask. You can email us at or_COI. Or if you are an investigator or supervise a large group of investigators and you are concerned about how this will affect you, again, please contact us. We want to help. We want to make this a smooth process. Okay. So, questions? Right.
Having the Form 700U online and electronic is really a big accomplishment.
We really think it's going to be a positive thing, and the people that we've shown it to so far, when we show them that for an administrator, you can search on, say, all the disclosures for a particular project and see what's been submitted, or that all of the disclosures for a particular investigator and have them in front of you. Everyone's been pretty excited about that. And we're, of course, very excited to have this in place. I think it's been a long time coming.
Thank you.
Great.
And again, you know that it is still requirement of state government, state of California, that Form 700U be signed by hand, ink, and so on and so forth, original and all of that. So for the last several years, there has been a move to try to convince the legislators to allow that the form would be electronic, basically. And we are, I think, the second campus now, or the third campus. Second, I think LA went first, or one of the southern campuses was able to finish it. And this team, Greg and the team, they did a lot of work to move us to the point that this is going to be electronic. It's really good. Okay, so hopefully then the Form 700 would become electronic. The 700 is the form that some of us on campus who have high enough signature authority have to file every year. So I am one of the privileged ones who has to fill out that form. And there are some interesting questions in there that I might have mentioned here. Like one of the questions that I have to answer asked me whether I have stocks in any company which prints textbooks. I don't. So okay. Let's see, no questions here. I think we have covered everything except for, do you want to talk about any updates, timelines, deadlines? all of that. Here's Chris.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. We're rounding out our hour in this meeting, and everybody made it through the rain, so it's really great to see you all here and online. There's a few updates with proposals that Bridget and I have put together. Coming up, we have our standard deadlines with NSF, NIH, and we have a few updates with USDA. Yay! They put stuff out on their website. This is awesome. Especially for the College of Environmental Ag Sciences. It's very important. Yay! That's big funding, big dollars. So get your proposals in. No, sorry. Anyway. Okay, so NSF is the first on my list, and so far coming up on April 11th is the Software Infrastructure and Sustained Innovation. That's on April 11th. And on April 12th, the Advanced Increase in Participation, Advancement of Women in Academic Science and Engineering Careers. That's a good one. The next one is the Industry University Cooperative Research Centers Program. That's a preliminary proposal submission. That's on April 19th. And then the Partnerships for International Research and Education, also known as the PIRE, thank you, is April 24th. And then we have a conference coming up. If you are looking to go to a regional conference for mathematics and science, that's on April 28th. So those are the NSF ones that are coming up fast in April. Moving on to NIH, the F-Series fellowships for the F-Series and F1 diversity. There's several different series in the individual National Research Service Awards for training. Those are due on April 8th. Then the R13 and U13 conference grants and cooperative agreement conference grants or conference agreements is April 12th. Then moving on to USDA, this is really good because last year this came out so late, so this is really great news. The end of this month, on March 30th, the Biotech Risk Assessment Research Grants Program, it's called BRAG for short, that's on March 30th. AFRI Foundational Exploratory Research, that's another big one, March 31st. And then it is a holiday. Thank you, Mike. Just so you all know, Cesar Chavez Day, Friday, March 31st. So that proposal needs to be submitted Thursday, March 30th, for it to be on time, because that is not a federal holiday and it will not be observed. So it will be late if you wait till the 31st, the 30th. Thank you so much for pointing that out. We will not be here to submit on the 31st. So thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that. And then in April, a couple big ones. We have the Farm Business Management and Benchmarking, known as the FBMB Competitive Grants Program. That's on April 17th. And then the I'm going to say this wrong. Methline. I'm going to say it wrong.
Keep going.
All right, moving on. Methine bromine transition farming is on April 20th. Methane. Thank you. Methane. There's no end and it's driving me crazy. All right, anyways, it's on April 25th. Other than that, they have a few small miscellaneous ones. Check out their websites. Simple Google search for USDA, NIH, and NSF, all with deadlines in the title search. You will get the same list that I did, and you can look with your faculty all the different programs that they offer coming up at the end of this month and through next month. It will be getting really busy towards the end of April and into May, so prepare because we'll have more big deadlines coming in May for NIH. So does anybody have any questions about proposals, proposal processing? Remember, 5 days in advance. Other than that, we appreciate all of you and all the support that you provide for our office, and we couldn't do it without you, so I want to thank you for that.
One quick response to a question before Kathy would have another update. Jessica, there is a question here asking when can we start using 700U online?
April 17th.
Okay, the answer to the question of when 700U would be available online is April 17th. Thank you. Unless Jessica qualified that April 17th by saying unless they contact you earlier. Thank you, Jessica. Kathy, you had an update.
I did. This group is fast. I already have 5 emails. But some of the questions, they want to know what the schedule is, what type of presentations that we are going to be providing. That's not going. So the schedule still is in draft mode, but I'll give you globally what our topics are. One session is going to be on international global research compliance. Another session is going to be on subawards. Another session is on human subjects protection. Another is on NIH public policy, compliance on publications and the Data Act, and hopefully PubMed for all. And then the other one is going to be on uniform guidance. So we have, and these are all topics that were I did a query through SRA, and these were topics that came back as kind of hot topics that people wanted to learn more about. So when we plan our next chapter meeting, it could be any topics we want, and we can get speakers from all over. So it's a good thing. So these are the topics. Who all of the speakers are going to be, I think I have them all lined up, and their presentations might, kind of deviate a tad bit from some of this, but this is basically what the blocks are for the panel groups. And so I just wanted to give you an update what the topics were going to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathy.
Okay.
Okay, we don't have anything else. Any questions for anybody, including your own colleagues around here? No? Any questions online? Going once? Okay. I don't see any questions here. If there's nothing here, we can stop now. Thank you very much for coming over.